Oh, welcome to the Real Family Therapy Podcast. It's your host, DJ Double OG, along with my co-host, Are You Serious? And we got Dad in the building. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, doing well.
Doing good.
Sir.
How about yourself? So, it is another week down. This is episode 3 of the Real Family Therapy Podcast. I got to look into the camera. I'm trying to do a radio thing, make sure everything's straight. It's a Real Family Therapy Podcast. And we're going live today. We're doing something different. We're doing the Zoom. So make sure you check us out at Real FT Podcast, so you can see half of the faces around the show. Now, I'm wearing masks because I'm in the studio. I'm at the radio station. They require you to wear masks. And
I'm going to need you to supersize that mask, though.
This is the only one I found. I was rushing in a hurry, man. I forgot my real mask because I really don't want my beard showing. You know what I'm saying? All this salt and pepper. Yeah. So I got a mask that covered that up, but I forgot it.
That looked like a medium jacket on you right now.
Don't. Slide up and down. Keep sliding up and down.
You exposed, brother. Let's just go on and take that Rona.
Man, today is January 19th. Today the last day Donald Trump is in office?
Yeah, he's about to hit his pardons. I don't know when, but
noon tomorrow.
Noon tomorrow is over with for him. Okay. So 12 o'clock tomorrow is over with for Donald Trump. He's out of here. It's been a good 4 years, man. I can't even lie. You know, all the things that he's accomplished. It's been a great 4 years going. So January 20th at 12 o'clock, Joe Biden comes in office. What do you guys think Joe Biden's going to do when he first gets in office?
Going to sterilize his office. Because you know all the Trumpers had that COVID going on.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Now, you know, when Donald Trump got into office, he didn't hang up any pictures of Barack Obama in the office. Do you think Joe Biden's going to do the same for Donald Trump, or you think he gonna go high when they go low and still put the...
Well, there's an official portrait that each president is supposed to put up when they get into office. So, like, each current president is supposed to put the previous president up, and it's an official, like, actual portrait. But Trump didn't do that. So it's not like he's just supposed to hang up pictures on the wall like that's his homie. It's just an official tradition that you're supposed to put up a picture. So, but they didn't do that. Trump didn't do that this time. He was just obviously King Petty. And then also, Trump and Melania wasn't even sharing the same room. So like what they did was like there was a room that was an office, but then they had to convert it to a bedroom because that's where he was sleeping. So she slept in the main room and then he slept in a separate room. But they got a whole, so they have to redo the whole setup. Like I was reading an article about it. It was in Forbes, I think it was, but yeah, they got to read, I don't know if it was Forbes or something like that, but they got to redo the setup because there's extra mattresses because of that aspect and they have to redo the whole thing. Usually what they can do is flip the house within 6 hours. But they're going to probably do it in like 10 or 12 hours this time because of COVID and everything like that. They're going to have to sterilize everything and do everything like that. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
You know what, though? I used to, when I was doing training to join the bus, this dude told me that, too. That him and his wife didn't sleep in the same room. And I done been through that because I got to sleep with my son, though, because he wake up in the middle of the night, walk around the house and tear stuff up. So I got to be with Prince. But, yeah, I don't know. You wouldn't think that's very common, people not sleeping in the same bedroom, but it's more uncommon than we think, huh? Especially in the White House.
We know why. It's not like that's just what they do because it makes sense. We know why.
So you think it's
still a while for her to even move into the White House. She stayed at the Trump Hotel.
They don't even like each other.
Yeah,
she really don't like him, though. the way
She
she
done
moves around, she really
she
don't
done
like that.
slapped his hand so many times. I mean, it's
Yeah.
obvious that they don't really mess with each other.
She got a new prenup agreement, so she's good. She's set.
Mm.
Yeah, I can almost
Mm.
guarantee within the next 3 years it's gonna be a divorce between Donald Trump and Melania.
And that's okay.
I can
Let it
almost
happen.
she
Just
had to
let
hold
it
it down
happen.
while he was president. She couldn't embarrass him while he was president. Okay, so something that we got into a little bit last week, but I wanted to dig back into it again this week. Was the holiday season. So we started off with New Year's. And another reason why we're doing Zoom and we're all in different locations. Matter of fact, I like your background, bro. Nice water and Dad got the
That's where I was at.
background.
That's
Oh, in Lake
Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Yeah.
See, but the reason why we all on Zoom is because we're all in different places, right? So Reggie, you in California right now, Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, you're in Oakdale, and I'm in St. Paul. So we all different places. But this holiday with COVID was a little different. We didn't get to spend time with each other. Usually you will fly out
Right.
to Minnesota to spend time with us for the holidays. But you moved to California. So what I really wanted to ask you was how it felt to move from your family. You know, a lot of people do it. Bernita did it. But a lot of people do it. Some people are scared to do it. I ain't going nowhere. I don't think I'm going to have to be rich in order for me to move. But yeah, like, how did it feel making that transition, you know, from going to home where you grew up your whole life, all your family is, your friends, and just moving to a whole nother state by yourself?
Honestly, man, it really wasn't. I process stuff different, right? So, like, for me, I got a saying, I'll do what I have to do so I can do what I want to do later, right? So I couldn't pass up on this opportunity with this job to move out to California. It would have, if I would have, like, a lot of people get stuck in being loyal to a company that's not loyal to them, which is the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know. But anyway, so they get loyal to these places. They don't want to move out and venture out, or they feel like it's some type of prestige to work for a company for 30, 40 years. Like that means something. It really doesn't mean anything to me personally. It just means that you just cut out on a lot of money you could have made and things that you could have did with your family, but instead you chose to be with this one company. So for me, it was an obvious choice to double my salary and move out to California.
Bling, bling.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Right.
I do miss the fact that, you know, me getting up every Sunday and going to church and doing that every Sunday with the family. So every week I saw mom and dad and I saw, you know, you guys or whatever the case may be. So that I do miss. I do miss the aspects of like not being able to be at Prince's different birthday or not going to Young Bulls football games or not going to Ariana's birthday or not seeing AJ. Well, I actually got to see AJ born, but you know what I'm saying? Like going to see AJ's birthday and things of that nature. You know, not being able just to drive over when mom texts and say, "Hey, dad made lasagna tonight." So it's like those type of things are rough, but I have to realize like I'm doing this for a reason. Like I can't. It's hard for me to get emotional about it to an extent. Like, yes, I do miss y'all, but I also know like I got to do this to keep moving forward. So like for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to do this. I have no choice for me personally. I didn't have a choice. Like it wasn't something like, oh, should I or shouldn't? Like once again, like I moved in with mom and dad because my lease was over and I wasn't gonna renew another lease. And I didn't even know if I had a job or not. Like it wasn't even a process of
Right.
an option for me. Like
Right.
worst case scenario, I just move into another apartment. But my thing was is that like, yo, I gotta do this. And you know, there was a lot of different factors that associated myself with it. But for me, the ability for me to be able to get out here and do what I do, and I don't even have my degree yet. I'm just now about to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I couldn't. Most people don't even process that, and it's like what Pop say. What does that have to do with you? So like for me, I had to do this to prove to a lot of people like, I can. I'm more than what you think I am. I can do a lot more than what you think I can do. And like even with the like, even when I was working at Panera Bread, oh, you just work, like I I'm more than that. And I'm gonna show you. Don't even worry about it. Now I was on the dean's list, like I told Pops. I was on the dean's list all last year. I got a 3.9 GPA. You can't tell me nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me nothing right now. I'm about to graduate in July. Got a 3.9. I make a 6-figure salary. So I'm not worried about no stimulus if that makes people feel a little bit better. But it's like there's a situation in which I had to weigh the pros and cons, and for me, it wasn't even a question of me moving out here. Now, do I miss the holidays? Do I miss being with you guys? Of course. Like that's all I did anyways. Like I really didn't do too much, and and it's weird because like it's kind of like the same thing. So when like Bernita moved, I was separated from Robert and Antonio, and then now I moved, and now I'm separated from your 4 children. So it's kind of it kind of messes. That's the only thing that messes with me. And I'm gonna be real with you. Everything else, I don't care. It's not a big deal. I don't care about hanging out and doing all this other stuff. But the fact that my nephews and niece, I'm not around them. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I just can't go pick up Antonio and go to the park and show him how to actually play basketball. Because he think he know. He think he know, but I've been practicing on my game. You know what I'm saying? But
shout out to Big Tom.
But on some realness, that's the really only thing that's kind of messed up. Being able, once again, I'm not home right now. We all know the situation going on. I just can't fly home.
Right.
I just can't go down the street.
Right.
Like you guys are just talking like y'all. I was gonna take out the trash, but I had to do this or this or this. Like stuff like that to me is kind of messed up. Like I should be able to be like, nah, I got it this week, but I can't do that.
Yeah, but you, yeah, I mean, I definitely understand the pros and the cons. You have to weigh it out and do what's best for you. And it do suck that I can't just, call you and tell you to come over or pull up on you or beat you in the game one-on-one, look in your face and laugh, stuff like that.
That ain't happening. But
first of all, listen, I'll be letting you win on 2K, bro. I don't want to embarrass you in front of the whole podcast. But all them little times you beat me, all them little 50, 60 times you won, I'll let you win. I just want you to know that. Dad, how did it make you feel when your kids kind of left the nest and grew wings and flew off?
Good. Like bye.
Well, I think it was after the party. After the party, I could have felt bad. But,
that's what you're supposed to do.
But no, y'all, I mean, this is the 21st century, man. It's ain't nobody more than 4 or 5 hours away, really. Airplane ride away. So the only thing is, you have to be prepared to have the money to do that. So you just have to keep something available so that in case you have to make that trip, but I'm confident because I know the way that I raised y'all have to take care of yourself. So it wasn't it wasn't like y'all ran off and I was have to worry about, oh no, man, how they gonna eat, where they gonna be sleeping at, where they gonna be staying at. I wasn't concerned about that because I knew how y'all was raised. Y'all was raised to take care of yourself. You guys worked ever since you were 14 years old. Yeah, I trained y'all in that so that you could be able to always take care of yourself. So that wasn't an issue for me. I was glad to see you do it. Get out and try something different, move away, try something different. See if you can like it out there or like it somewhere else. But while you're young, you got to do things while you're young because after you get old, that kind of slows down. I used to have a lot of dreams and visions about what I wanted to do, and now all that stuff's changed because I'll be like, okay, now if I go there, how far am I going to be from my doctor's office? And am I going to be covered in my insurance? And do I like the nurses out there? You got to consider different things once you get older. You got to, take other things into consideration other than just the weather. You know, the weather used to be the big thing when I was young. You know, I would love to move somewhere for the weather. Now I got to make sure what kind of health plan they got going on down
For
there.
real.
Right,
That's my
right,
For real.
right, right.
concern. I
For
ain't
real.
going nowhere unless I know they got a good health plan. You know, so it changes when you get older than when you're young. But I was good with it. I was confident in what you guys are gonna do and where you was going. I wasn't worried about it because I know you know how to take care of yourself. You know how to get a job. You know how to work. If you don't know how to work, you know how to make money. So that's I wasn't concerned.
No, that's definitely true. Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm just laughing, thinking to myself, okay. No, because I can't go nowhere neither. Like, I'm thinking about my health insurance right now. Like, for real. Like, I got to think about Prince. You know what I'm saying? Because Minnesota got really good health insurance. And not only do they got health insurance, they got good health coverage for, you know, y'all both know my son Prince autistic. So autistic children get a lot of good benefits in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And the weather be the main reason why you want to leave, because like today you walk outside, you're gonna slip and fall on some ice. More than likely, if you walking more than 100 feet, like, you know, and it's cold outside. But yeah, the medical benefits in Minnesota are definitely worth it. I remember, you know, people used to say they come to Minnesota because that's where the money's at, but they done ran out of money and turned it into medical insurance.
What about, you know, when you get older, you have different choices, different things you got to look at.
So when you moved to California, Reggie, what was your first big thing that you did?
What was the
Like,
first big what?
The first big thing that you did when you was on your own and you realized, you know what I'm saying, once you got up to Sacramento and that you was totally by yourself, like on your own, like what's something that you enjoyed doing when you got to California versus that you couldn't do
I
in
don't know
Minnesota?
about I don't know about enjoy it, but I ain't had no place to stay when I first moved out here. So you know me, I like to prepare, make sure everything's set up. I don't play around like that, right? So I had set up an apartment when I first came here. Already set it up, already had a deposit, already got approved. All I had to do was give them my ID, and I'm ready to move in, right? I
Yeah.
had a specific list of what I wanted, and they had pictures and a description of what they had. So I was like, yo, I want to make sure right now I'm just moving into an apartment, and I'll see how it is. It's close to work. Just make sure it's on the first floor, so I don't have to worry about not being too light on my feet or whatever the case may be. I want to make sure it's the 2 bedroom on the blah 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 blah, whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
So when I get there, that apartment wasn't the description. That wasn't what I was guaranteed. It was on the second floor. It was like a 2 bedroom, but only like 700 square feet. So the living room was the kitchen, was the dining
Yeah.
room. The bedrooms
Yeah.
were small, like nothing of what they described. Because I was supposed to move into an 1,100 square foot uh, spot when I first got there. Had everything already decked out, and only put $100 deposit down. So when I got there and I saw the place, I was like, all right, well, let me go get the stuff and I'll be right back. I ain't never go back to that place again. I don't even know where it's at. And I've been here for the last 5 years. No clue where it's at no more. I didn't go back. So then what I did was I was on the hustle. I had to find a place to live immediately. And I'm talking about immediately because I had a truck coming in a week with all my stuff. I had,
Right.
you know, my situation. I needed to take care of the household. I had responsibilities. You know what I'm trying to say? So I ended up living in sleeping in hotels and stuff. Literally all day I'm just going from apartment to apartment. Do you have something available today? Can I see it? Do you have something available today? Can I see it? So what I got blessed, obviously, and I eventually, like day 3, I found the apartment that I ended up moving into. So it was like a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. They had a full garage, washer and dryer and everything. And it was only $1,200 a month. And that's extremely cheap for out here. Like right now, a 1 bedroom, 1 bath for like 650 square feet is $1,100. You can't get nothing cheaper than that. So like, but the problem was like when I first got here, once again, like I wasn't having fun when I first got here. I was trying to make sure I had a place to sleep. So once I finally found the apartment, I had to wait for the approval from the background check. They was taking forever. So I ended up literally, once again, I drove from Minnesota to Sacramento straight, right? I only stopped in Salt Lake City because y'all made me like, okay, you got to sleep. Because I was driving 17 hours straight. I was going to just drive the rest 8 hours or whatever the case may be, or the next 7 hours. But so then what I ended up doing is I ended up driving to Las Vegas until my apartment was ready. Because my boy Dan at the time, he was living in Vegas, and that's like a 7-hour drive. So instead of me just sitting in Sacramento by myself, waiting for them to hit me up, I just drove to Vegas.
Right.
And the hotels were cheaper in Vegas. So I literally saved money driving to Vegas and staying there and hanging out with Dan for a couple of days until the apartment got approved, which took forever. And then once I literally got the apartment approved, I got the keys literally that same day. They pulled up, the moving truck pulled up.
Moving truck pulled up right on time.
Because it was end of the road. So like I had to give them the new address. It was like, all right, we driving, where are we going? Where are we going? I was like, just go here. So I was like, I hope I'm approved by the time I get there. Well, it wasn't that if I didn't know I was gonna get approved. I just had to wait till I got approved. It wasn't like some guy did a miracle and approved me with a $300. I had a 730 credit score. It's not like I you know what I'm trying to say at the time. I had a 730.
Right, no background. Wasn't nothing there.
Wasn't no issue. I was just literally waiting. So it wasn't like some guy did a miracle for me type of thing. It was just that God did a miracle to help me finding the spot. But the approval process, it was already done. So I was just waiting for that. But yeah, so when I first got here, I wasn't having no fun. I went to Vegas, but that wasn't even fun. I was just sitting there waiting to get the apartment. So I was just hanging out with Dan for a little bit. That was it.
It seemed like that's a lot, man. Like that's perfect timing though for the truck to pull up the same day you moved into the crib. I didn't know you had a garage, man.
Not a full, it was like a full separate garage. But people in California, they don't use their garages for cars.
Would they be sleeping in their garage or something?
The dude, my neighbor, had a brewery in his garage. Like they just be putting junk in their garages. Like no one uses their garage for the actual cars. It's very real. Like you'll see all the cars parked in the driveway.
And none of them in the garage. Well, I mean, yeah, because they don't got no weather, right? So it ain't like you gotta park in the garage so you don't have to plow out.
Yesterday was 68 degrees.
Well, yeah, that's wonderful.
It ain't no weather.
Yeah, I think it's like 20 degrees a day outside. Probably less.
Y'all had 10 feet of snow there last week, or whatever the case may be. So.
Yeah, we had that slushy snow. That's what I hate too when it turned into ice.
It's easy breezy. Okay. So yeah.
So your transition to California overall was pretty good then. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have too many hiccups.
Outside of that, obviously, like I had everything set up. I was just waiting to move.
It's like been 4 or 5 years now?
5.
5 years?
5-year anniversary last year in August.
Okay. 5 years out in Cali, man. And then we got a sister. She lives in North Carolina. She moved from Minnesota to California, then in North Carolina. So
she moved out here, which is weird.
Yeah, I said, she moved to Sacramento too, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a coincidence, a little coinky-dink.
Yeah, I ain't never been out here until I drove up.
So what do you got out there that you don't have home?
Food?
Like anything. Like what's different out in Cali that
the food out here is suspicious. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The food out here is bland. They just got these bland, cheap taco spots every 2 feet that everybody feel like they in love with. We got better taco spots at West St. Paul, and I'm be 100 because we got a lot of Mexicans at West St. Paul, and that food ain't no exact same stuff. Sometimes it's even better. So because a lot of times they just get generic out here with their their Mexican food, so it just be real bland half the time. But I just want to go to the local steakhouse, grab a gyro, maybe a steak if I'm bored. Then that's about it. But they ain't got nothing like that out here. It's just I don't know. The food is a little bit suspicious. And I
never thought of Minnesota to be a good place to eat, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess when you leave and then you come back home, you get a different view, but I never thought of Minnesota as just as
well. You also don't try a lot of new food, anyways. So
I don't.
Let's be
I like chicken tenders
you eat the
and burgers,
you eat the same stuff
chicken
all the
tenders,
time.
burgers, French fries. I like to spice it up with a little lasagna or enchilada every now and then. I ain't
That's why
eat
I
none
got
of
so
that
good at
yesterday.
cooking. That's why I got so good at cooking. I was out here just trying different recipes, doing them food boxes, but I was trying the stuff that was the most randomest stuff in the world, so it can help me be able to make basically anything. So what I would do is I would like get that, the Hello Fresh or the whatever it is, Box Chef, or I don't know what the names are
Box
of
meals
those.
that come in the mail.
Blue Apron, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what I
yeah.
would do is I would pick the meals that was the most wild and out there. So I would find the wildest thing, and then I would, oh, okay, so that's what that is. I can try this. I can change this with this. I can put that there. So now when I cook, I don't need no recipes. I just do it.
Well, when we was roommates, you wasn't a cook at all. So I mean, I
Nope.
guess kind of some thing. Yeah, you was horrible in the kitchen. Matter of fact, I don't ever remember you seeing you cook anything in the kitchen.
Let's not be clear. It wasn't horrible because I wasn't cooking. I just was tired from trying to work all these buffalo. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't want to do
Yeah,
no
most
come
of the
home and
time.
cook.
With them garlic
I'm like, you
parmesan.
trying to come home and cook? Because yeah, when I was living with you, I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings at the time, and then
Yeah.
before that, it was Panera Bread. So the last thing I wanted to do was come home and cook. The
Hey,
last thing, but I've always been cooking. Like even as dad, like when I was at the house, he would put the cake batter at the on the counter. When I come home, he'd be like, "Oh, okay, I guess I got to make a cake today," or or whatever the case may be. So I remember that.
I don't never remember you baking no cake. Dad, is he lying? He
As
baked some
that,
cakes before?
no,
Yeah, he used to bake.
they
Yeah,
would be
he
like, "Yo,
just
just
trying
make this." But I also took every
to
food
take up
class
for you.
twice. So I took every single food class that they had. I took it twice at school. So I learned the science behind it. Like, okay, it needs an acidic. This one needs something sweet. This one needs a balance. So I learned that stuff, and that honestly helped me out with what I do now because now that stuff kicks in, and I'll be like, all right, so now I need this. Now I need that. No, I need to make this base. No, I need to do that. I know how to make a roux. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just there's different things that
I
that
remember
just
you
help
told
me.
me that. I'm like, what is a roux?
What is a roux? But
Right,
yeah,
what is a roux? What is that,
but I
bro?
mean, there's just different things that I've learned how to cook. And my girl, obviously, she knows. She went to culinary school, so she knows how to cook. So we just be in here going crazy, outside eating
Well, she,
crab every week.
she got a little advantage then. Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know
she
that.
knows she knows how to
She's
get
Chef
down, and I know
Boyardee
how
in
to
this
cook.
joint.
So a lot of the times I try to cook because she's always the person cooking.
I just
Now,
learned how to cook
whenever I
going
go
on a
out of
diet.
town, that's the first place I look is for places to eat. Like when I went to California, I went to Silicon Valley and
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco. I had some good food in Silicon Valley. They had this Italian restaurant, and it was the first time I ate the those hard toasted bread with some olive oil and balsamic oil and dipping it in it. And I thought that was really good. And I went to San Francisco. I went to the bay, so I went to the shore. I wanted to eat the fresh fish off the shore. We had,
Mm-hmm.
crabs and lobsters and stuff right off the shore. So that what I thought was good. It was fresh, fresh out of the water. So I liked it, the food out there. But
You talking about a
I only go
biscotti
to
though?
certain places.
Are you talking
Hmm?
about biscotti?
Yeah,
Ooh,
biscotti. Yep,
Biscotti,
that's the first time I had biscotti was in Silicon Valley.
the toasted bread.
Yeah. So yeah, when I went to Boston, that's the first thing I do. I'm looking for places to eat because I all I eat at home, all we eat here is McDonald's and
Chili,
yeah,
spaghetti. Then you mix the
right.
spaghetti with the
old,
chili.
same old
Yeah,
franchise places. So I'm always looking for something different. So I used to travel a lot when I was working. They would send me to different places to take these classes. And so we used to learn how to, I'd go to Boston and eat the clam chowder,
Yeah,
Kansas City, eat the ribs, you
yeah.
know, go to Atlanta and stay in my room because I was scared of going out there with all them black folks. Atlanta scared me because they had streets, in Atlanta, they had streets that didn't have no lights. You go down the street and then you go down, look up to the right, and there's all these houses, but ain't no street lights down there. And I'm like, I'm not going up there in the dark. You know, so that scared me.
Your
Atlanta,
antennas was on.
yeah, Kansas City had the same thing, but at least Kansas City had lights. Atlanta, they got rid of the street lights on some of them places. I was like, I ain't going up there.
Like, I'm good. I'm good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I always look for places to eat. That's the first thing I'm looking for.
Hey, when you said Atlanta, that made me think about the first time I went to Sacramento. When I went to California a long time ago, I was like 18, 19 years old. This is the first time ever in my life I was scared because we went into the apartment complex, and the dude I was with, we went to this apartment complex, and we pull in the apartment complex, and everybody's in blue, but I ain't really thinking too much of it though. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Minnesota, so we got gangs in Minnesota, but it's not really like
I know where you was at.
everybody.
There's
is in
only
the
one
gang.
section. So in SAC, there's only one area that's blue, and then there's one area that's red.
Yeah, and it was an
So
apartment
you was
complex.
in the northern. Yeah, you was in North
Okay.
SAC. The
Yeah,
nutty
I
north,
had to
as
be.
they call it.
Because when he pulled up, and then what was crazy was a little 12-year-old boy ran up on my car and tried to serve me. You remember the Dave Chappelle sketch? Where the little baby had weed? Yeah, it was a little 12-year-old boy, like, I got some drinks there, I got some drinks there. I'm like, boy, if you don't get... And then it's like 4 or 5 dudes right behind them, they all big. So, yeah, when you said Atlanta, that made me think of Sacramento. And that's... I won't mess around in Sacramento. I'm
Yeah,
like, they
you got to
gang bang
be.
for real out here.
Yeah, you got to be clear on where you're going now. Like it's different out here because like once again, like if you in South Sac, don't wear no blue. Just don't even worry about it. Matter of fact, just wear red so you blend in and everybody be okay. Don't go to South Sac wearing no blue. Don't do it. Don't go off of MLK Boulevard. You're gonna hurt yourself. But
Yeah,
yeah,
see,
so I mean, it's just different.
it definitely is. Minnesota, the gang culture in Minnesota is kind of funny to me.
It's Chicago
Because,
gang culture.
yeah, but it's different than Chicago because Chicago a little more serious. Chicago, another place that's scary. You know what I'm saying? I was on 63rd like 3 months ago.
Son, what do you think what do you think they called it the murder from? Like I know you was a St. Paul dude, which I get and I appreciate it. But when I was hanging out with people, I was over South Minneapolis, North Minneapolis.
Hold on,
Trust me.
I'm repping for Minneapolis right now.
But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But like it's
see,
different
like,
when I was in it. Like because once again, I was there every weekend getting my hair cut and stuff like that off of Franklin in Chicago. That wasn't no joke back then. Like I was literally just talking to Dez the other day, and I was like, if I wasn't getting my hair cut there, there is no way we would be in that area. And I wouldn't even feel safe in that zone because of how many deaths were going on. Like they call
I
it
used to love
murder. They used to call it Murderapolis for a reason. You know, I used to work around the corner, but I'm just saying back before you started working there, when it was rough, and I'm sitting there getting my hair cut at 17 years old before I go hang out with Des and Dwight. Like it was some crazies. It was bad out there.
Hold on, but it's still bad on Chicago and Franklin though. But they got a nice Sambusa spot
better.
right there. I used to get some Sambusas. It was really good.
Man, they got condos over there now. Yeah. They done tore down half the block and then rebuilt.
Down Franklin, they did build some brand new condos. Yeah, Chicago and Franklin was dope. But what I meant by that was like, okay,
no joke.
On the South Side, I guess, even the South Side, so you have the 30s Bloods and you have the Vice Lords. But your friend will be a Vice Lord and you'll be a Blood and your other homeboy will be a GD. But all of y'all will be in the same car. Or like in St. Paul, you'll be a Rolling 60s. And then your homeboy Hilltop, and then your other homeboy a shotgun crib. But all of y'all in the car together. So really, like,
you almost let that out, didn't you? He was gonna say, "I'll be a Rolling 60." And then he said, "No, wait, let me change that."
No, because I wasn't never no Rolling 60s. That's what we grew up at. Right?
That's what Mr. Officer, that we was never nothing.
Yeah, I was never nothing. Right. That's just where we grew up at. Shout out to Bernita. If anybody a gangbanger, it's Bernita. She a real gangbanger. But yeah, you know, so it's just different in Minnesota, you know, and I ain't mad at the gang culture here because it's really not a gang culture. It's like more clique. Like whatever your clique is.
Aaron, but that's cool.
Well, I ain't no gang, bro. I ain't no gang member.
Yeah, I know. Bless the child.
I'm
Bless
a dad.
the Lord. That's right. That is right.
They got gangs though. They got
Yeah,
them.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
we
might
got
not
'em.
be as serious, but they got them.
So let me ask
Mhm.
you, when you was growing up, because Dad, you grew up your whole life here in St. Paul, Minnesota. So you done seen it all from the beginning to the end.
You done did it
Um,
all.
why are you trying to incriminate us today? Like, are you serious? Could you chill out, bro? Jeez. We try to send us to the joint.
I know
We're
y'all's business.
embarrassed.
Y'all don't know nothing about mine.
Oh, hold on, wait. I know a little bit about your
You
business.
don't know nothing about
Let
my
me,
business. I worked at
Iowa.
Panera Bread.
I'm
I
gonna say
worked at
Iowa,
Buffalo Wild Wings. I worked
Iowa,
at Foot Locker. I ain't do nothing in
Iowa,
Iowa.
Iowa. Okay, but no, Dad, for real. What in the culture of St. Paul, Minneapolis, Twin Cities? What did you see the difference, and when did you see the shift? Because I know, like, Rondo used to be mostly black, and then the Asians kind of took over, and that kind of changed the whole culture of the neighborhood. But like, what's the difference you see now, from even when you was a kid to when we was a kid to now where we at?
Well, the biggest difference for me is when I ride through St. Paul, I don't know nobody now. You know, it used to be I used to ride through there and I know everybody, you know, either they know their relatives or somebody, but now they're all somebody's grandkids. I don't know none of them, you know. So it's a different, it's a whole different generation than when I grew up. I grew up in the 60s, 70s. St. Paul was, you know, it was hopping. They had parties, you know. St. Paul was a business city. Minneapolis was the party city.
Right,
Still
that's
is.
how
Northside
it was
was
too.
gangster city. So you
Who?
had Northside gangsters, Minneapolis partiers, St. Paul business was about making money. That's what that's how they looked at it, you know. And so there was always a big conflict between St. Paul and Northside gang. That was the only gang thing, was Northside people and St. Paul people. There was a big conflict between those two. So, but I hung out on the North Side, and my sister invited all the North Side men to our house. So we always had some North Side people. So, you know, that was it. You know, it wasn't no guns and all that. It was just fighting, if anything, you know. But then as I got older, I noticed that, you know, when you go into the bars, you know, like we used to hang out at the, you know, the clubs when I was younger, and it was, you know, kind of like Cheers. Everybody knew your name, you knew everybody, and they just hung out and, you know, drank and fooled around and did whatever you was doing. But then all of a sudden, you seen kids coming in with these handkerchiefs hanging off their belt, hanging off their side. That's when I first noticed them. You know, you see a bunch of kids sitting at the bar with handkerchiefs hanging off their side, you know, and they be looking at you and you be looking at them, and they would just say, you know, that's when the last time I went into one of those areas. I'm like, I'm through with this. I'm done. You know, I ain't got no business in there anyway. So, you know, I stopped going because I knew then that trouble was coming. And that was around the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, when the change started coming. And that's the same time that the crack cocaine moved into the neighborhood. So the net crack brought the gangs. You know, that was the only reason for gangs even accumulating in the cities, was because of the crack cocaine market. You know, so they came from Chicago, they came from California, not because of the
Mm-hmm.
colors and all that, but it was because of the crack. This was a fresh crack market. And so they came with the crack came. And that's when the gangs came. And that's when you noticed it got serious out there. People started getting shot left and right. And, you know, so I started staying at home. I was done. I was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and wasn't going outside.
Yeah, that was later. Yeah. Hmm.
You
Hey,
know,
man,
They got
that's,
a documentary on Netflix called Crack, by the way. I heard it's real good. I got to check it out.
yeah.
But it
So
talks about that in depth.
the mid 80s to the early 90s, that's the crack period. That's when it hit the hardest. You know, that's when all the gangs came in. That's when all the change happened. And the cocaine was brought in by the Colombians and the Cubans.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the drugs came in, and then they came from California and Chicago and the East Coast to make it crack, turned it into crack cocaine. Because before that, they didn't know nothing about crack. It was just coke. And then all of a sudden they came from the coast and brought the crack idea in, and they also brought the gangs with them. So that's when it changed. So it got dangerous after that.
No, that's definitely true, because I think the only gang that's like from Minnesota back then was like an Asian gang. I think it was the White Tiger gang. But all the other gangs came
White
from
Tiger?
either, yeah, right in Frogtown, the White Tiger gang. Shout out to everybody that was the White Tiger. But yeah, you're right, because they came from Cali. All the gangs came from Cali. And the Crips settled in St. Paul. The Bloods settled over in South Minneapolis. GDs, Chicago. They brought GDs, BDs, Vice, all of that stuff came. I never really got into gangbanging though. It didn't ever make no sense to me. It never made no sense to even growing up on a block where you had to represent. Well, I'll tell y'all one story. Dad and Reggie, I've probably heard this story 100 times, but Family Therapy Podcast never heard this story, so I'm gonna tell them. I remember when I was 12 years old. Way back in the day. Okay, no, I remember I was about maybe 11 or 12 years old, and we were sitting outside. We lived at 683 Aurora, on the road in St. Albans. And the Chicago Bulls had just three-peated, and they won 3 championships back to back to back. So, Dad, y'all bought me the Chicago Bulls outfit. So I had on a red Chicago Bulls shorts with some J's and a red Chicago Bulls shirt on. And it was red, like it was red and white. It was red and white, but it was mostly all red with the bull on white.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it so vividly. Anyway, so we outside doing what we normally do, standing in front of the house because Mom won't let us go nowhere.
Nothing.
Couldn't go
Two
down
square
the block
arguing.
around the corner. Right. So we probably standing in front of the house. And,
Two square.
I remember the gang members, this was their block. That was their corner of the hood. The liquor store was right down the street. We was in the middle of the hood, so this is where they was at. And he came up to me and he was like, "Man, what you doing with all that red on?" And I remember I was in the middle of the street in the intersection. I remember this like it was yesterday. And he asked me what I'm doing with the red on. And I'm like, "What you mean what I'm doing with all this red on? Chicago Bulls, they just won the championship. I'm repping for the Bulls." He like, "Boy, you on the wrong block to be wearing all that red. I don't want to see that red no more next time you come outside. You got to wear blue. This is a Crip neighborhood." And I said, "What?" I really, at this point, I'm really not understanding what a gang is, what Crips, what Bloods, what colors is. So this dude introduced me to the Crip and the Blood. And then after that, every time I seen him outside, he make sure I have no red on, but then he'll, be nice to me or whatever. But yeah, I just remember getting punked out of my Chicago Bulls outfit. I really liked that outfit too.
I just remember you stopped liking red all of a sudden. I'm like, nothing red no more. I couldn't get no red shirts, no red jacket. What is going on with this boy? Don't red no more. We was in Cottage Grove.
We started moving.
We
moved to Cottage Grove. That's it. So that's why he said, "I just remember you don't like wearing red no more." Yeah, that's the reason why that I stopped wearing red, because the homie told me I can't wear red on the block. It's your boy DJ Double OG. It's Are You Serious? It's Dad. It's the Real Family Therapy Podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We live on WFNU 94.1 FM, Frogtown Community Radio. We also streaming everywhere podcasts can be streamed: Spotify, Google Podcast, everywhere. Buzzsprout, Anchor FM. Shout out to Anchor FM. They try to monetize your boy. All right, so this is the last thing that we're gonna get into. Then we're gonna get up out of here today.
Monetization.
Yeah, as soon as we get these numbers up, I'm talking about. Speaking of monetization, y'all see how I said that. Monetization. So last week we talked about, our dad was telling us the difference between a corporation and the LLC, and we also talked about the stimulus checks how people was flipping their stimulus checks into a business, right?
No.
Eddie was gonna say no, right? Well, I did that anyway. Okay, I did the opposite of everything that you guys said. Okay, I did it all. No, I'm just funny. No, but the reason why I want to talk about that is because I just seen an article online about the PPP loans that are coming out today, are coming out this week, and I actually qualify. I didn't even know that because I drove cabs. I qualified for the PPP loan. So I want to ask you, Dad, what do you think about the PPP loans and the SBA loans? Because they're like 30-year loans. So they give you like $10,000, $9,000, but it's a 30-year loan. You're paying back at like $45 a month, unless you qualify for forgiveness. So I'm contemplating on whether or not I should apply for the business loan. What do you think?
If you can get it at that price, get it.
And my
I never
thing is
thought
this.
about it. I've never looked into PPP loans and all that stuff. So I don't
Well,
know.
so you would technically qualify too.
But
because you have
anytime
a
you can get a
nonprofit.
loan for that price, I mean, you can do something. It's easy to flip it. You can flip it with, that's what most people don't
Buying
understand.
cars at the auction. That's what I was thinking.
It's just about all the world is about is selling. It's about selling and making profits. That's all it is. You buy something for one price, sell it for another price, and you make profits, whether you're selling items or even selling money. You can take that $10,000 and loan it out to people and make money off of that and make them pay, loan shark money with it. It's not loan shark today, but now it's called payday loans.
Right, title loans. I was going to say title loan. Right.
Yeah, something like that, but there's all kind of ways to make money. It's just that we don't take the time to really look at it that much. We're all scared of losing. You can't lose if you don't play. You can't win if you don't play. So I would look at it as an opportunity to do something, just as long as you don't just spend it. If you're trying to do something with it, do it. And if it's 30 years at $45 a month, you can't beat that.
But I wouldn't even be worried about the 30-year aspect, because people get hung up on that 30-year aspect. Just because it says 30 years doesn't mean you have to take 30 years to pay it back. You can pay it back that first year. You can pay it back, but that startup, having that 10,000 straight up or however much money it is, depending on what you're trying to do, that's, I guess, the focus of what are you trying to do and what is your goal and what's your profit. I wouldn't be worried about 30 years, 20 years. That's even with home loans, for example. Like, unless it's a set interest that they're saying that you have to pay, like no matter what you pay off, unless it's them type of loans, I'm not worried if it says 30 years, because that's not based off of what I'm going to do. Like that's not what you have to do, is pay it off and then wait 30 years. So people get hung up on those years aspect and then lose focus on what they're trying to do. Are you trying to get a house? You trying to do the business? What are you trying to do? So for me, if that's what you want to do, I say go for it. And just make sure that you have that plan set up and set down.
Yeah, you can use that money to put down on a house, on a condo or something. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. Just don't blow it. Make sure that you get some return off of it when you do it.
Yeah, because
make sure it's based on a business though. Just do that.
What?
If it's a business loan, make sure it's an actual business. That's all I.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Yeah, that's what I was really gonna do, man. I need to
yourself
find a way to make
some
money.
stuff just trying to buy stuff. Like, just make sure. Like, if you're buying like Dad said, buying a house, make sure it's a rental property. Like, you don't even stay there; you just rent it out and have them pay the mortgage.
Well, yeah, you could do that, but it depends on your first. Different programs got different things. Unless you get a straight up loan, you can just get a rental property. But like, if I were to buy a house, I can get a first time home buyers program. But right now, the government's issued out grants for first time home buyers to pay their down for their to pay their down payment for their home. You know what I'm saying? They're giving programs where they'll pretty much pay all of your down payment.
And I've been looking into that. I don't qualify for none of that.
Why? You make too much money?
I
Yeah.
don't qualify for none of it. I can maybe get an FHA loan, and that's about it. If
Yeah,
I
because
get lucky.
I'm thinking about buying a home real soon.
But I
too,
can't
man.
get none of them grants and nothing like that because I don't apply. I don't went online to see if I can buy a house in a rural area. They was like, no. They don't want me to do nothing but pay cash. So
Well, right now, then you
Yeah.
need to look into that down payment assistance because of the pandemic.
I already did. I don't
Oh,
qualify. I don't
oh,
qualify. I make too
oh,
much.
it's
That's what I'm
tight
trying
on
to
you.
say. Like I done looked at all that stuff. I don't make too much.
Rich people problems, I tell you.
Yeah, that's the problems I always had with growing up with y'all. I never qualified for no programs or nothing because
Mm-mm.
I made good money. So if you have the opportunity, that's what I say. Look for opportunities in everything. You might be living below the poverty line or at the poverty line, but look for all the opportunities around you that's available because you're at that
Yeah,
place. And
Hmm.
then
yeah.
invest in those plans and those programs to get you out of there. Because
Hmm.
right now there's a plethora of stuff out there to help you to help
Definitely.
people to get out. But people you got to get out there and take advantage of it. You got to jump on it because it's not going to last. By next year, at the end of next year, I mean, the taxes are going to be so high, and the interest rates are going to be so high because they're going to have to recover from all of this that we're doing right now. But the people are taking advantage of it. The thing is, the people that's taking advantage of it aren't the people that needs it. The
Yeah,
people that's taking advantage of it are just
yeah.
people just taking advantage of it. The people
And
that
that's what
need
I.
it are lollygagging, and wondering and waiting for somebody to do something for them. You got to
Yeah.
get out. If you see an opportunity, you got to jump on it then,
Right
right?
then and there.
While you see it, because it ain't
Yeah,
gonna last.
yeah, that's
Hmm.
true. Yeah. So I'm waiting to see what I can do with my PPP loan,
Because
and
them
then
taxes is going up. They went up this year, and that's what I don't know if you saw when I posted that, but Trump said that tax unless they change the tax bill that they got up right now, it's going up for everybody under 400,000 every 2 years. It goes up. So right now, for
Oh
example,
yeah, the
all our
taxes are
taxes
gonna
went
go up.
up.
They're
No, but I'm
going
just
up.
saying already set up in Trump's bill that he put together like 2 or 3 years ago. He set it up so literally 2021 it goes up for anybody that makes under 400,000. 2023 it goes up. 2025 it goes up, and 2027 it goes up. So he literally already set that
oh,
into place that anybody that makes under $400,000 is already going to go up on top of whatever's going on right now. So we're not even talking about the stuff that's going on right now. So it's just going to be layered on top of it. And they talking about Biden's going to increase their taxes. No, Trump already did that. But y'all
Biden's
gonna
gonna get
blame
rid of
Biden
Trump program. Biden's gonna get rid of that because Trump's got too many loopholes for the
loopholes.
corporations. They got a flat tax now for the corporations,
Yep.
and he's going to get rid of that because it's flat
Mm-hmm.
for the corporations, but it's fluctuating for everybody else.
Yep.
You know, so
that's
yeah, he's
crazy.
going to get rid of that. So you're going to look forward to paying more taxes because somebody's going to have to repay all this money they're giving away right now. That's why you
Yeah,
should take
eventually it's coming
advantage.
down.
The
Yeah,
advantage of if you can get it right now, get it. Don't feel bad because you're gonna pay for it later, some
I'm
kind of
trying
way.
to I'm trying to hit
We
this
all
Powerball tonight, and I'm trying to hit the Mega Million tonight, and then the Powerball tomorrow before they increase the rich people taxes.
Because I don't want to work.
Man, 750 million.
Yeah,
Boy, we all
we
moving somewhere nice. We all
gonna
moving
win.
somewhere nice. Yeah, we
830
all,
million.
yeah, we all moving somewhere nice. Okay, last thing, and then I'm gonna ask Dad for a dad joke. Did you know President Trump is finna pardon Lil Wayne for gun charges?
He said
Do
Who?
that.
you
I mean, that's a rumor,
do you really think
but
he's
I
finna do
don't
that?
know. I don't. I,
You
I,
gonna
Lil
I
Wayne
pardon
the
who?
rapper.
a
Lil Wayne the
rapper.
rapper. So Lil Wayne, one of the most famous rappers out, supported and endorsed Donald Trump for his
Right.
reelection and during his time. So now Trump is finna pardon everybody, and he just took a deal. Like a month ago, he took a deal. So you think he's gonna get pardoned?
If he can get something out of it, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a pardon.
So he's supposed to be announcing it today. I don't know what time, but he has over
Well, he only
100
got
people.
one more day, 24 hours left to start
No, he
paying.
has to do it today. He has to do
Yeah,
it
well,
today.
we're gonna see who he pardoned, and then we're gonna talk about
yeah.
that next week for sure. Because I want to see if he pardoned Lil Wayne. That's just gonna be hilarious. All right, Dad.
Might as well, he pardoned everybody else.
Yeah, everybody that lied, everybody that went to trial with him, all them people that went to jail,
Yeah.
they all got pardoned. He held them down. That's how you're supposed to do it. All right, Dad. You got a dad joke for us to end the show?
Yes, talking about business and profit. This guy went into a watch shop. This man that makes watches. He went to buy a watch, and he showed him a watch, and he said, "Man, said this watch sure is cheap. You know, $25 for a watch that looks like this." He said, "How much does it cost you to make that watch?" And the shopkeeper said, "Oh, I can make these watches for $25." And the man said, "Wait a minute, wait. The watch costs $25 to make, and you selling them for $25? How you gonna make a profit selling watches for the same price you make it?" Well, he said, "Oh, I ain't worried about it. I make all my profit on it when people bring them back to get fixed."
He bring all this profit on a repair.
Shady business. Shady business.
Shady business. Okay, it's DJ Double OG. Are You Serious, Dad? This has been the Real Family Therapy Podcast. I appreciate y'all kicking it with us today. We didn't really have too much to talk about. We was just enjoying this Zoom call, man, and we're going to keep doing it. Keep coming each and every week with a new podcast. I appreciate y'all listening. On the radio, it's 94.1 FM, WFNU LP, St. Paul, for our town community radio. Peace.
22.
God bless.